I'm Randy Hill, a Texas entrepreneur and inventor, and I fly by the seat of my pants.
I'm his wife, Janae Hill. I'm a television producer and motivational speaker, and I am tightly wound and love structure.
Country meets culture, where two worlds collide.
It works. Or does it?
Ooh, wait! You said you wanted some energy? I got some energy for you. My name is Randy Hill, and this is my wife, Janae.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Oh my, we're off to a bang this morning.
We are off to a great start
this
today.
afternoon, whatever time of day it
Yeah?
is. Yes. What are we talking about today, Randy?
Well, today we're going to talk about some of the interesting things whenever you get married. I think it's a little bit different when you get married at a very young age, right after college or
Which
in
we
your
did not
20s.
do.
No, we got married late in life. And there's some little different things that you come to a marriage with that are little trinkets and little tools and things that you were not used to.
Especially when you come from two totally different backgrounds. So I am more of the cultured, prim and proper society gal, and Randy is
You
more
grew
of
up
the
in Wichita Falls. Come
right.
on now.
I was a
I grew up
debutante in
Dallas.
Wichita Falls. I don't see lots of Dallas peeps in cowboy hats. Giddy up.
Giddy up.
Okay.
If you were in the late 70s, you would have. Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, so when Randy and I got married, he was traveling a lot right after we got married.
Yeah.
And I was, at home and we'd moved in together and I came
After we got married.
Yes, after we got married. And I came across these things that I really didn't know what they were. So, for instance, one time Randy was out of town and I love to wear kind of tall riding boots. And so I found this thing. Can you get that thing? Randy's got like a little prop box that he's going to pull
This
stuff
is my
from.
little bag of tricks I've got here.
Oh.
Okay, here's something right
So,
here. Does anybody
while
know
Randy
what
was
this
out of
is?
town, I was trying to use this thing to take off my boots. I thought, you put your toe in the center. So if you're listening to us, it's kind of an oval shape and it's got a thin cutout in the center. And Randy, what is this contraption? It is not to take off your boots,
Well,
as I learned
back
the
in
hard
the
way.
old cowboy days, there's a few hatcheries around the United States.
Oh, a hatchery.
A hatchery.
Is that like a
Where-
hatchery for fish?
It's a hatchery for hats. And so hatcheries, people that make cowboy hats, the way that they used to make them back in the late turn of the century, it's a machine that would go down on your head, and it has these little pins that, not really pins, but like little gauges, and it can actually make the hat to fit your head precisely.
Does yours have to be like extra large
Yeah, it does. I got a very
just for your hat?
yeah. So anyway, this is a hat plug. It's a two-piece wood. One side is cedar that takes the moisture out of your hat, but it also makes the hat, like if you're wearing a hat and you get hot in it, the hat will take on sweat and different things. And so a good high-quality hat will shrink up after you wear it for a while. So this hat, I'm going to take off my hat here, and this thing fits inside the hat.
Oh, wow.
And
Fancy.
The thing fits inside the hat, and then it keeps its shape, it keeps it protected, and it takes the moisture out of it.
Now, how many of you out there would have ever thought that was a hat plug? I didn't even know there was such a thing. I mean, again, I spent hours trying to take off my boots with his hat plug. So that was one
But
of the things.
I said, you mean a boot jack? Now, I'm going to show you this right here.
Oh, dear. I have no idea what he's getting at next out of his bag of tricks.
This right here,
Okay.
this is a boot jack.
Now,
okay?
I know what a boot jack is.
Okay.
So for those of you who don't
if
know.
you knew what a boot jack was, why did you think this was a
Well,
boot jack?
because you're just so hip and on trend, Randy. I thought that maybe you had the latest and greatest in boot removal products. So I thought maybe Randy knows something.
This is something new. This is called a toe pry.
Okay. So, yeah. So all of these contraptions I was learning early on in our marriage.
And here's the headphones. These are headphones
These
that
just-
they use in NASCAR.
These look disgusting. Okay,
They're not
so
disgusting. They're
Randy,
cool little-
Randy, let me see these headphones. Okay, so these headphones, if you're listening, they're made out of like putty, and they just really look disgusting. But what's even crazier is they fit inside your ears, Randy,
Mm-hmm.
but look how large they are. So I guess Randy has really big
All
ears.
the better to hear you, my darling.
to go with his really big head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, those are in racing and motorsports. Whenever you're wearing a helmet, or in my case, you're wearing a cowboy hat. You can't wear headphones. You can't wear a headset. And so I had these made, and they regularly make them at different tracks and stuff. The electronics company
Short version.
They have a little deal of caulk. They put a little speaker in your ear with a wire, and they get a form, and you can reorder these. So they're pretty cool.
So, Randy, you mentioned you are a cowboy, but you grew up in Dallas, Texas. I've met your parents. They are lovely people, Gary and Dorothea Hill. However, they are very prim and proper. Your dad, I don't think, owns a cowboy hat, much less a pair of cowboy boots. When did you become Mr. Giddy Up Yeehaw Cowboy?
Probably high school, college.
And you just decided one day, I'm going to wear a 12-gallon hat.
No, I was out. I spent a lot of time in the outdoors, a lot of time hunting and fishing. And so I guess whenever I was in college, that was something in West Texas that people wore cowboy hats. And I bought my first cowboy hat when I was in college and started wearing boots pretty regular. And then got interested in ranching and stuff like that. And
So to me, what's funny about the cowboy hat is, yes, we are in Texas, but you don't see a whole lot of people wearing cowboy hats on a daily basis. But Randy, but years ago, we were attending a conference and we were in Washington, D.C., and this was a big producers thing that I go to. And there was this cigar bar, this very kind of prestigious, highfalutin cigar bar. And there's not a whole lot of people in there. It's kind of an intimate, exclusive crowd. And Randy wants to walk in with his cowboy hat. And I'm like, dude, you're not embarrassed that you were the only one in a cowboy hat? And he's like, no, giddy up, let's go.
and we get in there, and these out of the blue, two producers walk in the door. We're in Washington, D.C., and they go, Randy Hill!
Yeah, because Randy is known by his cowboy hats. So if y'all are looking for a cowboy hat, clearly Randy can help you.
Yeah.
No, but I think
5D Custom Hats, Abilene, Texas.
there were a couple of things that after we got married surprised me about Randy. So this right now, I'm holding what might resemble a little pair of scissors, but it's really not. It looks like it could, I don't know what it could do really. I wasn't really sure what these scissor-like contraptions did until one day I see Randy plucking his nose hairs and ears hairs with these
Hey,
things.
It's all about hygiene. I want to look nice. I don't want to have I don't want to be one of those old grandpas that's got a big old hairy ear.
I think Randy spends more money on his facial products than I
No,
do.
That's not true.
He's always
it keeps
worried
you looking
about-
young. Okay, speaking of facial products,
Oh,
I've got
dear.
a
Oh, no.
real special.
I'm a
one.
little nervous about what Randy is pulling from his prop bag right about now, especially when he says he's got a real special one. What is he pulling out? Uh-oh. Wait, he doesn't have it. Praise Jesus.
I've got some bad news.
What's the bad news?
Something just fell out of the bag.
Something fell out of the bag. I'm a little scared. Randy's up to his antics again.
I am so sorry. This just happened right this minute live. On
So if you're
Facebook
not
Live.
seeing this,
This-
I have this
This
utensil.
contraption,
A
and this was
tool.
not what I was reaching for. I was reaching for something different. This
Oh
is
my
some
goodness. It is called a fascia blaster.
Fascia
and if you
blaster.
are just listening and you can't see this, it's a long stick and it's got 4 prongs that are like 5, 6-headed prongs, and you rub it on your thighs. And I do this nightly to try to get rid of my fascia. And Randy just broke my fascia blaster.
sorry.
I mean, this is really serious. We're going to have a
well,
serious
if your
talking
thighs
to.
are getting smaller, you only need half of it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but it's this deal where she takes it and she rubs it on her bottom and rubs it on her legs. And I read about it. I did some research about it. And there's a lot of bodybuilders that actually use this contraption because they found that it defines their tone. And so something about, remember the old days of the belt thing, that thing that you would see like on I Dream of Jeannie, where they're in a workout place. And
Randy
it's got this
still
belt
wears
and
the
it's like
belt. I'm
shaking
not
them.
kidding. I
Well, it's
almost
the same
brought it.
idea that whenever you shake and you're losing weight, this does something to the fat cells and it makes them go away.
But it's clearly not going to work for fascia blasting
Yeah,
now.
the fascia blaster.
Maybe it will work as you're like, beep, he's censored. So,
Okay.
I did.
Okay, so I broke the fascia blaster. I'm so sorry. It was right here in my bag, and it fell out of my bag, and I broke it here live on Facebook Live.
Now, so one of the things I do think Randy, I mean, he made fun of me with the fascia blaster, but I think he secretly uses it. I wasn't kidding when I said I have seen him
I can
wear
guarantee
one of those
you-
jiggly belts, I guess, to stop his jiggling around the waist.
I can guarantee you, I have never taken that fascia blaster and rubbed my fascia list. Never.
Oh, Randall. No, but I will tell you this morning, I wanted to bring something for my prop bag and it was missing. So picture this, audience. It is about 2 inches long. It's a silver stick, about 2 inches long. He has it!
Yeah,
Randy,
I brought it with
Randy
me.
stole my zip popper.
Look at
So
this.
what this
is a little tiny tool, and I've never seen one of these until I met Janae. This is a zit popper.
And so what it has is at each end, it has a different size circle. So if you have
So in
big
Janae's
zits,
case, if you've got really big zits, you need to use this end.
now, I will tell you all a story that's going to absolutely gross you out. When
don't
we were
tell us that
just
story.
married, remember, I was trying to redeem myself from setting expectations on a whiteboard for my stepdaughters. And so they, they're teenagers, they saw this zit popper and they wanted to use it. And so some of our earliest memories together, me
Was
being
Janae
the good
popping their
stepmom,
zits.
they thought I was a winner because I would pop these zits. Now, what I don't think we sterilized it in between.
Yes, we did.
I'm just kidding.
Because I would not have it in my bag or in my hand if it had not been sterilized. In fact, I sterilized it this morning before we came.
But I think the funny thing, Randy, is that clearly you had my zip popper because I looked for it this morning and it was missing.
I brought it because I wanted to surprise you with it. I brought my little bag of tricks down here.
Now, Mr. Country Boy, do any of you guys out there, do you like sushi? I absolutely love sushi. And when Randy and I were first married, I was like, we are going to go eat sushi. And so we sat down and they said, can we get you anything to start? And Randy said, I'd like some of them green beans. And I'm like, green beans? And the waiter's like, green beans? And he goes, yeah, them green beans that come with salt on them. And I said, do you mean edamame? And so the next time we went to sushi, Randy had clearly learned. He said, hi, we'd like some edamame. I'm like, edamame? What is she,
That's
like
what it
your
looks like. It
country
looks
sister?
Like, when you spell it out, it looks like edamame. If you see it on the menu.
Yeah. So Randy's learned a thing or two, I think, about some dining etiquette. You now have learned
Now, at that
edamame.
same time, when we went to that sushi bar, we go inside, and I said to him, I said, they asked what we want to drink. I said, do you have any sweet tea? And they said, no, we've got flavored tea, but it's not sweet.
And
You
sweet
can
tea
use
is
sweet
very
and low.
prominent in the South.
Yeah, in the
It's
South.
like sugar and
Yeah,
tea.
sugar and tea. So anyway, me being the always conscious of my surroundings, I noticed there was a Dickey's Barbecue 2 doors down. So what did I do? I get up, I go 2 doors down, I get me a big old glass of sweet tea and bring it back to the sushi place to have with my meal.
Yeah. Classy. I mean, I'm just curious. To those of you listening, watching, is that allowed? I mean, can you really bring like another restaurant's beverage while you're eating sushi? I don't think that's
Yes,
very
you can.
classy.
Yes, you can.
No. Okay.
It's not classy. Okay. How about the Capitol Grill in Fort Worth, Texas? One of our favorite places. They have a hat rack for me.
Okay, so let's tell the story about the Capitol Grill. Thank you, Gloria Starling, for doing this for me. So, Randy, there's another restaurant in Fort Worth, another steakhouse that
Del
has.
Frisco's
I wasn't
Double
going to
Eagle.
say. I was just going to give props
One of my
to Capitol
favorites.
Grill, but they have hat racks with people's names on them, and Randy thought that he would.
That was something that I always
arrive
thought about.
if he could
I said,
get
you
a
know
hat
what?
rack.
I would love. I told Janae one time. I said I would love to have a hat rack in Del Frisco's with my name on it. I've got these little plates and
So if you heard last week, he likes stars. He likes the number of likes. Now he wants his own hat rack. I think we've got some ego issues going on. I'm just kidding.
it's something very. I mean, that's
Very
not a big deal.
cool. So, but he really likes the Capitol Grill a little bit better than Del Frisco's.
Mm-hmm.
And so I reached out to the owner of, or not the owner, one of the managing partners for the Capitol Grill in Fort Worth, Gloria Starling, and I said, could you do me a huge favor? For Randy's birthday, would you put a nameplate next to the booth where we sit so that he could have his own hat rack? And how did that feel?
It was awesome. It was awesome. Oh, it's awesome. And I love to go in there. It's the booths. It's in Capitol Grill, Fort Worth, downtown Fort Worth. And it's the booths, the two booths. There's two booths that face the kitchen. And it's the Amon Carter booth. And so
I thought you were going to say it's the Randy Hill booth.
well, it is now.
Okay.
It's got my name above it.
Giddy up. Randy clearly likes things with his name on it. I'm not sure if he was going to show this, but in my hand is a car, a little Matchbox car with the 08. Remember, he did NASCAR, and it says Randy Hill Racing. And if you'd like a bunch of these for free, we have a bunch left over. We don't do NASCAR anymore.
Hey, we're not going to just throw them away and give them away. I mean, we'll give them away to a good cause.
So why did you bring these cars today?
It was just in my bag.
Oh, you carry it everywhere? That's very sweet.
Yeah. In case I find a little small child, a little boy or girl, it's purple, so a girl can play with it. It's a little child that would like a toy.
I give food to the homeless. Randy gives Randy Hill racing cars to kids.
That's right. I love children.
Well, clearly you can see we have a couple of unusual props that each one of us brought to the marriage.
A couple of them that are broke down.
Yeah. Now my fascia blaster, I'm going to have to get a new one. But as you are watching this, I think, there's some interesting dichotomy in what Randy brings to the table and what I bring to the table. And so I think instead of getting a challenge this week from viewers, we should give one to each other. So Randy, I am going to encourage you for 1 week. Well, first of all, you're going to get me a new fascia blaster. And then for 1 week, I think you need to experience the greatness of the fascia blaster. Okay, that's my challenge to you. What's your challenge to me?
Okay, my challenge to you is to...
He's thinking. This is Randy thinking on his feet.
Okay.
Okay.
How about this?
Okay.
Join me
Oh, no.
for dinner. Capitol Grill, Fort Worth.
Okay. Well, sounds like I got the better end of the stick.
You did.
Not so known as the short end of the stick, according to this fascia blaster.
I definitely have the bigger end of the stick.
Oh, I always thought you had a big stick. Okay, so that's all for today, folks. Tune in next time to Country Meets Culture. If you think this is funny, please share it. Country Meets Culture. You can also watch this on YouTube. Have a great day.
Giddy up.